Happy Friday. I miss you. This is our last school day to not be together in the classroom. We have 2 more days at home after today, and then we get to come back to school Monday, and I am so excited. I've been wishing you well, and I want to scoop up some love before I read you a story. So I'm going to scoop up some love, scoop up some love, scoop up some love, and put it in my heart. And I'm gonna wish you well. I wish you well all through the day today. I wish you well. And I'm sending you love and well wishes. I hope you're healthy. I hope you're still washing your hands, and I hope you are excited to get back to school soon. Today I have the Littlest Pumpkin. And you see on the front, this pumpkin has a face, so it's actually a jack-o'-lantern. The author, the person who wrote the story, is R.A. Herman, and the illustrator, that's who drew the pictures, is Benita Ogden. It was Halloween, and there were 18 pumpkins left at Bartlett's farm stand. So I have a connection because we have 18 people in our classroom. The pumpkins looked their very best because they all wanted to be taken home and made into jolly jack-o'-lanterns. The littlest pumpkin had the biggest dreams of all. She saw herself shining in the dark with ghosts, monsters, witches, and fairies gathered around her singing a Halloween song. Today was the day when all of her dreams would come true. Maggie dropped by the stand on her way to school just as it was opening. I want the biggest pumpkin you have for my class party, she said, looking at the pumpkins on display. She did not even look at the littlest pumpkin. The pumpkin Maggie chose was so big, Mr. Bartlett had to help her put it in her mother's car. So she did not look at the littlest pumpkin. She got the biggest pumpkin.
Looks like
Then the twins arrived. Jess wanted the roundest, fattest pumpkin. Jen wanted the tallest, skinniest pumpkin. They both knew exactly what they wanted their jack-o'-lanterns to look like. So this is round and fat, tall and skinny. Later that morning, Mrs. Garland's class came to the farm stand to buy apples and pumpkins for their Halloween party. The little pumpkin was very excited when she saw all the children. Now, certainly, I will be chosen by someone to be made into a jack-o'-lantern, she said. But no one chose the littlest pumpkin. All day long, people came to the farm stand to buy pumpkins. Mr. Potter ran in and chose a pumpkin for his daughter, Kate. Poor Kate was home with the flu, but she had drawn pictures for her dad so he could see exactly what kind of pumpkin she wanted. Mr. Potter looked at every single pumpkin until he found the right one. And here's Kate's drawing of what she wanted. She was homesick. The sun began to set and only 4 pumpkins were left at the farm stand. 1, 2, 3, 4, or uno, dos, tres, cuatro. One pumpkin had a bruise on its back. One pumpkin was lumpy. So sorry, friends, we're going to start over on this page. We had an oops, but that's okay. The sun began to set and only 4 pumpkins were left at the farm stand. 1, 2, 3, 4, or uno, dos, tres, cuatro. One pumpkin had a bruise on its back. One pumpkin was lumpy and bumpy. There's some rhyming words. Lumpy, bumpy. One pumpkin didn't have a stem, and the last pumpkin was the littlest pumpkin. The littlest pumpkin still had big dreams. She would be a beautiful jack-o'-lantern at a Halloween party. She would shine in the dark with ghosts, monsters, witches, and fairies gathered around her singing a Halloween song. Here's a part of her dream.
And I got this.
But when the littlest pumpkin was dreaming, Gabe and Mona arrived. They ran up to the 4 remaining pumpkins. Gabe grabbed the stemless one. Perfect, he said. My jack-o'-lantern will wear a hat. Mona picked up the littlest pumpkin. Oh, how cute, she said. The littlest pumpkin was so happy. All of her dreams were going to come true. But it's too small for me to carve into a jack-o'-lantern, said Mona, putting it down. Then she picked up the lumpy, bumpy one instead. Now this one is perfect. Soon it was dark and the stars began to sparkle in the sky. Mr. Bartlett was cleaning up. Oh, please don't close yet, thought the littlest pumpkin. I must be a jack-o'-lantern for Halloween. Suddenly, Mr. Bartlett heard someone calling his name. Mr. Bartlett! Mr. Bartlett! It was Sam. Please wait, said Sam. I need a pumpkin for my party tonight. Mr. Bartlett picked up the bruised pumpkin and told Sam that if he turned it around, it would make a very nice jack-o'-lantern. Sam agreed, and with that, Mr. Bartlett closed the farm stand. So there, in the dark on Halloween night, sat the littlest pumpkin, and she was all alone. If you're alone, that means you're by yourself. Or, so she thought. She doesn't look alone. I see some other characters on the page. For just when the littlest pumpkin was sure she was going to spend Halloween night all alone in the empty farm stand, mice started scurrying around her. They were decorating everything, wearing tiny little costumes and carrying all sorts of Halloween goodies. And before the littlest pumpkin knew what was happening, so look at her face. She went from sad and lonely to now she's like, what's happening? She's curious. She wants to know. She found herself in the middle of a Halloween party. Mice dressed in costumes were bobbing for cranberries, playing pin the tail on the squirrel, and eating cheese and crumbs. Then the best thing of all happened. The littlest pumpkin was turned into a jack-o'-lantern. She was shining in the dark with ghosts, monsters, witches, and fairies gathered around her, singing a Halloween song. All of her dreams came true on Halloween night. And she went from a pumpkin to a jack-o'-lantern. Now she has a face with 2 triangle eyes, a triangle nose, and a crescent mouth. That's the end. What I want to leave you with before I go, if we go back to the 18 pumpkins here on this page, I just want to count them with you. We practice counting to almost 18 every day in the classroom when we count how many friends are there. Before we left, Chance was our attendance taker, and he would sit with me, and he would have his counting finger ready. We would start by singing, my counting finger's ready, my counting finger's ready. I can count all my friends, my counting finger's ready. And then we would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I touched each pumpkin with my finger as I said a number. We also do this in Spanish, so if you remember, you can practice with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 pumpkins. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Friday. I love you. Have a great afternoon.